Let's talk about the Final Cut Pro 10 interface. Now it's a pretty simple interface really. You've got 3 windows to work with. You've got this area which is called the Events Library and the Events Browser. That's all one area, sort of broken into 2 separate areas. You can see on the left we've got our hard drives, and then in here is where you would organize all of your media. Okay, this area here, this is basically where you look at your content. This is the viewer. So when you play back media in the Events Browser, it actually shows up in the viewer, and that's where you watch your content. And down here we've got our timeline. The timeline is where you build your movie. So in building your movie, you put shots together. Shots are represented by blocks in the timeline, and you can basically work on your video, your audio, or video and audio at the same time. Now, that's what I call the 3-window interface. You can expand the interface into what I would call the 5-window interface. So if I click on this button here, which is I for Inspector, you can see another window opens. And if I click over here, I can open what's called my effects area. And now we've got 5 separate windows to work with. I'll just run through it again. Same as before, except for 2 extra windows. Okay, we've got the Events Browser, which is made up of the Events Library and the area where we look at all of our media, Events Library and the browser here. And then we have the viewer, which is where you watch your content. Then you've got the inspector. The inspector reacts to whatever you're basically looking at. So if you click on a clip, it's going to show you certain attributes about the clip. It means if you want to change the clip, add effects to it, you all do it through the inspector. Again, with audio, you can adjust audio parameters through the inspector. That doesn't mean that you don't get other controls elsewhere, but a lot of the control does take place in the inspector. And wherever you click, it's going to refer to that particular thing that you'd clicked on. So the inspector changes and updates according to where you'd clicked. Okay, down here we've got effects. Now effects come in all sorts of forms. We've got video and audio effects, and then we've got other things which are called transitions. We've got text generators, and then we've got themes, which are pre-built themes, so you can very easily put an effect together in Final Cut Pro 10 when all the work has basically been done for you. But effectively this whole area is called the effects area. And then the timeline, which I already described, which is where you build your movie. So like I said, we have the 3-window interface, and we have what I call the 5-window interface. Now, just a couple of areas worth noting. If you want to look at your audio meters, you click on this area in here. This is called the dashboard, and by clicking there, your audio meters will become visible. And one other area, which is just down here, if you press that little button bottom left, you actually get to see the project library. Now, project library is where you store all of your projects. And once you get several projects in a row, you'll see that we have several projects all stacked up together. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the interface. There's a lot more areas to work in and out of in the interface. I'm sure we'll cover them as we get deeper into the organization, the editing side of things. But for the moment, the interface, like I said, it's pretty simple, either 3 windows or 5 windows.